Okay, we're connected. Hi, this is Melanie Jean Burke, and this is the third recording I've done today, live stream, and I am just so grateful and so excited for just the opportunity and the strength and courage that it takes to show up and do something like this. I learned by trial and error, and a lot of support from a lot of people, and that whole purpose of this Level Up Fast Track is to share some of the things that I've learned along the way that have helped me get to where I am now, and what I've learned and how I can help others to shorten their learning curve as well. Hey Sue, I just saw you hop on. It's good to see you. It's been quite a day. I've disciplined myself today, both mentally and physically and spiritually, to just jump on and power through this, to get myself oriented, because I know for me, when I start something new, that there's a learning curve involved, and it takes the first thing, it takes a lot of courage to show up for something new when you don't know what you're doing, and and you're willing to just, go for it. So I've been working on this for a couple of months, and today was the day I decided to just put it out there and see what happens. And so I know myself that doing it once would have been okay, but doing it twice, going back, and I did 9 in the morning and then noon and then 3 in the afternoon, it forces me to get into a mindset. And it's been extremely helpful for me, both in thinking about how I want to present this and how I want to show up for others and how I am showing up. And I've made little tweaks along the way for each one. But the most important thing is it reminded me, just like every other time, once I begin, it gets easier. It starts to flow. And so, the biggest thing that I want to share is that, we all have these things we're working on, especially in the online community, or we start something and we don't finish it because, we lose momentum, or we lose confidence, or we don't have the conversations with ourselves, not only just with conversations with other people, but we don't have the dialogue going on in our minds that are healthy enough to support us to take it to the next step. So I myself was struggling with, who's going to listen? Who's going to care? I don't know what I'm doing. The lighting's all wrong. I'm tired, and blah, blah, blah. The 900 excuses that flash through your mind. And each one that went through, I said, that's just not true. The reality is I'm afraid to put something new out there because, I might get rejected, or somebody might not like it, or, nobody will watch. And that's okay. Once I made peace with that it's okay, then I'm all right, but I have to still begin. So today was a day of facing my fears, walking through my own fears, and talking it out loud, and then getting some great feedback by people who have been gracious enough to hop on and give me some feedback. And it's been really helpful for me because it got really clear. And one of the things that I realized is I didn't even say my name on these things. So, it's kind of hard to practice going Facebook live stream when you don't say your name. So I have to remember to do that from now on, because I just assume everyone knows me, but they don't. So, but what I've been doing, just to tell you guys, is I have my phone set up on a small I have a little stand on my. It's actually a box, like a plastic box that I keep files in, and then my laptop is on top of it. And I'll post a picture in afterwards because you'll crack up. But and then I have my iPhone on a small tripod right behind my laptop screen, and I'm actually recording it in Zoom. And so that I have a recording of this, and it's on live stream too. So I'm talking to both at the same time, but I'm doing that because I'm looking to see how I show up in Zoom and how I show up on live stream, how I communicate, so that I can continue to improve and master how I want to deliver my content in the future. And I learned, Pam challenged me to find a way to do Zoom through Facebook live stream, and I did find a way to do that. I just have to set it up. I didn't get that to happen between noon and 3, but I do have that in place. But I did learn how to use my PowerPoint and screen share and do all that stuff in Zoom, which I've done. So that's recording right now. And I also built a really fast little course in Kajabi to put all these videos that I'm doing inside something for free. So I know sometimes when I go through and I watch people's groups things where they're doing a series of videos or a series of topics, that it's hard to find them. You have to scroll through a lot of things, and I have a limited attention span like most people these days, so whatever I can do to simplify it and condense it and put it all in one place, I'm all for that, because that, again, is part of Level Up Fast Track. How do I get the content out there in such a way that for you, it's the easiest, fastest way for you to consume it and use it? So personal growth takes time, but how we learn about what the tools that we have to go through that personal growth is a variable. And I believe that, the high performance coaching and the whole automated accounting system that I've done for years, and all of the work I've done with entrepreneurs, and the topics and the conversations that I've been having over the last 4 years, and particularly in the last 6 months, really focusing on, it's exponential. I can move myself forward a lot faster knowing how to learn easier and to manifest it in my own life faster. So, as long as I do the work that goes along with it, then, my life has been changing fast for the better in a lot of ways. So I cut off, my own learning curve has been shortened by a lot. And that's the whole goal of this Level Up Fast Track, is I want to show others how I expedited my learning curve. And it's been through conversations. It's been through conversations with others to ask for help. It's been through conversations with others about what they do. It's been through conversations with myself. And it's been like understanding the missing pieces of how we talk, how we sound, and the words and the vocabulary we use for where we are, and then how we need to sound to get where we're going. So there's a learning process, and then it's a lot easier to make the jump when you're already talking and sounding and having conversations as if you were already there. So that's what this has been all about for me. So I've come to the conclusion, after pushing myself through this today, with a lot of love and support from my, my dear friends who show up for me, and people who have reached out to me in other avenues, that definitely the podcast is right for me. Facebook live streaming is easy for me. I don't know why, as an accountant, it's like that would be the last thing that I would think would be a natural thing for me. But I love Facebook live stream. It's just fun for me. So I've discovered like my avenue, my comfort. I discovered like how I can share my message in a way that's natural for me, and I would never have guessed that would have been one of them, but it is. But I've had to try a lot of different methods to find that. And so I'm going to do a podcast that talks about conversations in conjunction with some other things that I'm doing, but mostly a set of series that are going to be tied to being an accountant. They're going to be quarterly. So for each quarter, like the next quarter is starting in July 1st. So during that quarter is having 12 sessions, or 12 episodes during each quarter, which happens to fall in the same pattern as high performance coaching has 12 sessions per level. So I thought, well, that's the most natural thing for me to start conversations about, is to talk about the topics of high performance, not actually doing coaching, but just how we discuss the and why it's important to talk about the concepts of high performance. Brennan's books, Bring It to Life, all the things that are out there, the other avenues that are using similar vocabulary now is more modern, more mainstream. So I really want to bring those areas that have more depth to life in everyday conversation. So that's what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to start my podcast. I'm recording them now, so I have to send it in. It takes a few weeks to get it approved. So I don't know if I'll make it in time for July 1st, but I'm going to do my best. And if not, it'll be when it is. But that's okay. I have a goal, and talking this out today got me really clear on what I want to do. And, building that little course to drive all the content that I'm doing now and the discovery kind of things that are happening into a course so I can communicate and give. The most important thing for me right now is to get feedback from you about what is it that you feel about conversations. I have two teenage girls. They're 17, 19. And, I hear a lot of that whole generation talking, and it's all short acronyms and, the whole text world and the conversations are very short and they all sound kind of monotone. And it's the same words over and over and over again. And the flavor and the essence of what used to be so amazing, or maybe it's just my age, I'm not sure, but the wisdom and the loveliness and the beauty of conversation in depth and in meaning is what I really want to re-engage with that and put that out there as an option for conversation, because it's just I'm so tired. I'm just really tired of the monotone conversations out there, and it's just I really look forward to something meaningful and necessary and, full of purpose and vibrancy. So I'm looking for that kind of feedback. So if anyone has any thoughts on how I can improve this whole group, or the podcast that I'm doing, they're going to go hand in hand. What I want, my intention is to use this group as a soundboard to work out some conversations that I want to do for my podcast series. So starting the dialogue here and having this group be a supportive group where we can really go into a new level of discovery on what conversation is all about in different areas of our lives, and what's kind of the next thing that needs, that we'd like to hear talked about more, so I can start introducing that into a bigger way. And all of that hits home for my own life purpose and my own life goals and my life's work, which is, I want to share a mission, and I share a message, that I really believe we can be happy and we can have a joy-filled life, and we can make a difference. Sometimes it's just in how we talk to one another. And, those are the words that inspire and help us to feel all the 10 human drives that Brennan talks about, and, help us to feel connected spiritually and with one another and connected to ourselves, and, just move about the day in a much lovelier way. So I've been recording this, so I'm just you can't see it, but I'll upload it later. So I'll upload it shortly, actually. I have some slides here that I did from before, and I'm showing them they look like this. I've been doing this PowerPoint presentation about each series for my podcast. I want to have 12 topics that go, 12 topics for conversation within a series, a common series. And so I'm going to do that in a way of a PowerPoint presentation for myself. So after I do all of the short podcasts, then I can put them together into a longer, more meaningful, webinar series or whatever, where you can revisit them and go further in depth. So I've been rambling on here, and I see some comments flying by, which is always nice for me. And so anyway, that's what's going on for me. So I'm going to get busy on figuring out the best way to do that. So you can expect from this group. And I want to say, if you know anybody that's interested in just learning more about the topics of high performance, the bigger picture, not coaching or anything, but the topics, so that we can really begin to understand what the high performance habits are all about and all that on a higher scale that can be used when we are just with friends or family or anything like that. It becomes a part of the dialogue, or any other things that they want support in, or just talk, or just curious, then please invite them to join the group. And there's 12 topics that I'm flashing through on the screen. That will be my first series here. And I'm excited about it. So I have a lot of work to cut out for. So over the next few days, I'm going to be releasing these 10-minute. I'm going to use Facebook live stream through Zoom, so that I can actually show the screen as I go over these things, and hopefully it'll give you another dimension of learning instead of just looking at me. Something else to entertain you. But so I will do them in 10-minute little stints. So if you know of anybody that wants to join the group, or you think it would be helpful to them, would love to have them join. And I'm going to be putting out some posts to invite other people to join as well. So, and this is again in preparation for the things that I have coming up, including my podcast and some of the bigger things that I'm working on for this fall. But mostly just to, we're spending time with our families and friends and this summer. So let's make the conversations meaningful and take it to a whole nother level. That's my challenge. So what one thing can you do when as a takeaway from here? One conversation that you can have that's a little deeper, or that you're more curious about, or that you can do one thing to move something you're working on forward by asking for help, or asking for support, or asking for somebody to review something, or asking somebody to lunch, or asking somebody to go do something. What's that one thing you can do that will move you forward in something that's meaningful to you, and do it through a conversation. So until I see you on the next 10-minute short purpose-driven video, thank you for giving the ability to talk things out and to get clear on where I'm going, because that was really helpful to me. So you guys mean a lot to me. Thanks for being there, and I will catch you over the weekend. And I look forward to your response. So leave comments and let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what I can do different. And anything that you want to share with me, doesn't matter. Just drop me a line, or leave a comment. And have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for spending the day with me. I'll talk to you later. Bye.